The movie opens with Emma, a strikingly beautiful woman on a secret mission, guided by a mysterious man over the phone. After completing her task in Buenos Aires, Argentina, Emma sheds her disguise, and Emma returns to her true appearance. Back home, Emma is warmly welcomed by her daughter. She heads to the backyard to greet her husband, Dave, telling him she has just returned from a business trip to Nebraska, hiding the fact that she was abroad. Emma also forgets their 7th wedding anniversary, filling her with guilt. The next morning, while preparing breakfast for her family, Emma receives a call from Raj, her job coordinator. He informs her that the client is pleased with her work in Buenos Aires and that they've received payment. However, Raj warns Emma not to attract too much attention, as her photo has resurfaced on a wanted list on a dark website. Fortunately, Raj has removed the bounty offer. He then assigns her a new task, but Emma declines, explaining that she has just returned home. Raj continues to urge her, explaining that the client insists on having the best person for the job and is offering a substantial payment, enough to keep Emma safe from pursuit by Sovereign, a group known for posting bounties on dark websites. She hangs up and continues making pancakes. When Dave arrives, she tells him about her work. After Dave leaves for work, she starts talking to her children again. She also receives a text from Raj, suggesting about anniversary present for Dave. At the office, while Dave reads a blog on how to improve marriage, his friend Kev tells him about his girlfriend Trina, who is at her sister's wedding and hasn't texted him yet. Dave replies, "She's at the wedding and you're not?" Kev also asks for advice, saying, "You and Emma have been married for 7 years, so I need your perspective." That night, Dave suggests a vacation to celebrate their anniversary, but Emma declines, fearing she will let her family down again, as she's made promises before, but always cancelled. Dave then places a gift box on the bed, but hides it under the sheets. When Emma sees it, he gives it to her. Inside is a nurse costume for a romantic role play. However, Emma has a different idea. She invites Dave to meet her the next night at a bar where they'll pretend to be different people using aliases. They plan to act as if they're meeting for the first time and book a luxurious hotel room there. In the morning, Emma shares her plan with Kelly, Dave's younger sister, and asks her to look after their children. That night, Emma arrives at the Royal Grand, a luxury hotel for their date. Meanwhile, Dave gets stuck in traffic and loses signal when he tries to inform Emma about the delay. At the bar, Emma catches the attention of an older man who has been watching her. He tries to flirt and introduces himself as Bob Kellerman. Emma, who had been ignoring him, decides to use the name Alice Overby and claims to be a financial worker. Bob continues to approach her until Dave finally arrives. Dave notices that Emma seems uninterested in Bob and is instead looking at him from across the bar. Bob leaves, and Dave sits near Emma and introduces himself as Jack Dawson. Emma, using her name, assumes the role of Alice Overby as Jack orders a drink. Bob returns to their table and proudly shares that he has won a significant contract. He invites Alice and Jack to join in celebrating his achievement. After a few drinks, Bob gives them his room number, suggesting they continue the party there, and then leaves. Emma and Dave drink more, and then go to the room Dave booked. When they reach the room, Emma plays some music and asks Dave to wait in bed while she freshens up in the bathroom. She checks the stopwatch on her phone, intentionally delays, and Dave ends up falling asleep. Emma leaves a note saying she's going out to get some aspirin. Emma then goes to Bob's room. Bob is a hitman who has just eliminated a diplomat. He considers himself lucky to have spotted Emma, aka Anna Peller, the most wanted hit woman, right in front of him. Bob had given her his room number earlier, not to kill her, but because he was curious about why Anna had left the notorious hitman syndicate Sovereign. The group wants Anna captured, not killed. It's revealed that Emma is a hit woman named Anna Peller, who used to work for Sovereign. She fled and changed her identity because Sovereign's leader, Gwen Carver, was hunting her down. They agree to split the reward, with 60% for Bob and 40% for Emma. Bob suggests they work together because he's not tied to any syndicate and only works for the highest bidder. He warns Emma that if she refuses, he'll contact Sovereign and claim the reward for her capture. Emma declines and reveals that Bob's drink at the bar was poisoned and he'll soon succumb to it. Bob then passes out on the sofa. As Emma is about to retrieve his weapon, she receives a call from Dave, who inquires about her whereabouts. Suddenly, Bob, who is not yet dead but blinded by the poison, attempts to shoot her. After hanging up on Dave, Emma easily disposes of Bob. Task completed, Emma returns to the room and resumes her intimacy with Dave. The next day, back at home with Dave and their children, Emma looks serious as she sends messages to Raj, informing him of what happened the previous night, and she ignores Dave. Shortly after, Raj calls, leaving Dave increasingly curious about what Emma is keeping from him. Raj advises Emma to keep a low profile because this incident will soon make headlines, and Gwen Carver will likely discover her location. Emma wants to meet Raj in person, but he instructs her not to head to the airport. Inside the house, Dave receives a call from a friend who tells him about a murder at the Royal Grand Hotel and sends him a news link. Dave is shocked to see that the victim is the man they spoke to at the bar last night. Panicking, Dave informs Emma that the news hints that the police are suspicious of a couple, a man and a woman, seen with the victim. Though confident they are not the culprits, Dave wants to contact the police before they can identify them from the CCTV footage. However, using fake identities at the hotel would only make them look more suspicious if they were considered suspects. Eventually, Dave abandons his plan, and they decide to wait for the police to approach them first. Emma mentioned that she has to go to Boise tomorrow for an unplanned meeting at her office. Dave initially objects since she has just returned, but eventually agrees. Emma stays up late that night, drinking in the kitchen as she looks at pictures of her family. The next day, Emma says goodbye to her children. Dave informs her that he will pick her up at the airport when she returns on Monday. During the office meeting, Dave continues to monitor the news about Bob's murder on social media. That night, Dave grows increasingly anxious and tries to contact Emma several times, but her phone remains inactive. On the day of Emma's scheduled return, he goes to the airport, but she is nowhere to be found on any local flight departures. As Dave returns to the parking lot, his worst fear comes true when two detectives from the NYPD approach him and escort him to the police station. The detectives question Dave about the murder of Bob Kellerman at the Royal Grand Hotel and why he had used a fake name. Dave truthfully explained that he had just met Bob Kellerman, and the fake name was part of a role-playing romantic game he and his wife had been playing, pretending to be strangers. However, the detectives found this explanation hard to believe. Shortly after, an intelligence agent named Carver entered and informed Dave that his wife was not the real Emma Rayburn, which left him shocked. The woman who had been his wife had assumed the identity of a deceased person 8 years ago and had successfully lived a false life for the past 7 years. Photos of his wife at Buenos Aires airport from the previous week were presented as evidence, making Dave realize that Emma had lied about going to Nebraska. He also discovered that the true identity of the man he had met at the bar was Derek Worley, a hitman, not Bob Kellerman. Dave was even more stunned when he found out that Raj wasn't Emma's company supervisor, but the one who found clients for her as a hit woman. He also uncovered that his wife was Anna Peller, the most sought-after hit woman on multiple continents. At first, he thought it was some kind of joke, but it became clear that everyone in the room took it very seriously. Dave rushed back home and started searching for Emma's secret belongings, until eventually he found a hidden box in storage containing wigs, fake passports, and firearms. The doorbell rang. Agent Carver, along with her associate Agent G, arrived and requested to search the house, trying to convince Dave of his wife's criminal activities. Meanwhile, we see Emma in Berlin, checking out from the airport and finally meeting Raj, who picks her up. Back at Dave's house, Agent Carver continues her discussion, telling Dave she will do everything in her power to bring Emma back. We then see Emma and Raj driving away as he gives her fake passports for her family. Several members of Sovereign are tracking Emma as she tries to escape. Back at Dave's house, Agent G receives a text message saying they have found Emma, so both agents leave. Despite Emma's attempts to mislead them, she gets out of Raj's car, but they continue to follow her every move. She manages to get into a bar and disable one of her pursuers. Another woman who saw her from behind follows her to the train station, but Emma also defeats her. Though she successfully escapes the confrontation with the remaining Sovereign members, Raj comes to pick up Emma in his car and gets shot. Tragically, he loses his life on the way. On the other hand, Dave reached out to every number on the business cards he found in Emma's secret safe. One of those numbers, which was Raj's, connected him to Emma, and Dave quickly discovered that Emma was in Berlin from that phone call. Ignoring Emma's warning not to join her in Berlin, he decided he wanted to discuss the matter in person. At the Berlin airport, Dave sees a taxi driver holding a sign with the name Jack Dawson and realizes that Emma has sent him. Dave and Emma were finally reunited at a bar. Emma confessed her past to Dave, admitting her real name was Anna, and that she had been trained as an assassin since childhood. Her father, a former secret agent, started the private security company Sovereign with intelligence agent Carver, the woman who had introduced Dave to Emma's true identity. After her father was killed, Carver took Anna with her. Anna had experienced violence from a young age and received years of training to kill. She initially believed in Carver's mission, thinking she was fighting crime by eliminating evil people. However, as she grew older, Anna realized it was all lies. We also learn that while Anna was working in Boston, she met Dave, who made her feel appreciated and cared for the first time. From that moment on, Anna longed for a normal life. She only took occasional jobs of killing people to finance her family's protection from Sovereign's pursuit. Despite all her lies, Anna begged Dave to believe that her love for him had always been genuine. She had come to Berlin to obtain Canadian passports for Dave and the children to start a new life. Emma promised that once they resolved their issues with Sovereign, she would never be a hit woman again. After learning everything about his wife, Dave said he still loved her. Their reunion was abruptly interrupted when several members of Sovereign suddenly arrived and surrounded them. They drugged Emma and Dave, then took them away. When Emma regained consciousness, she realized Carver had not only kidnapped her and Dave, but also their 2 children. Carver offered Emma a second chance to rejoin Sovereign. Reluctantly, Emma agreed on the condition that Carver wouldn't harm her children. Carver accepted and instructed Emma to eliminate Dave, as he stood in the way of Emma reuniting with Carver and having their children brought into Sovereign. Emma then led Dave into the woods and informed him that a sniper was watching them as they walked. Emma wrestled with her plan, and suddenly she shot Dave, causing him to collapse. Another Sovereign member confirmed Dave's supposed death, but when the woman checked Dave's body, Emma attacked her. Using a tree to obstruct the sniper's view, Emma managed to eliminate the sniper as he searched for them. Afterward, Emma returned to Dave, who was not dead yet. It turned out that Emma's shot had caused only minor injuries. She urged him to focus on the mission. She gave him a gun and instructed him to buy some time. They shared a kiss before Emma left. Emma shot another female member, but she was wearing a vest, so she survived. Carver tells her not to kill Emma, as she needs her alive. Quietly approaching the building through the glass roof, Emma fought the female member. Meanwhile, Dave drugged another member. During the intense fight, Emma finally managed to eliminate her. Dave rescued their children while Emma searched for Carver as she went outside the Sovereign building. Carver, attempting to escape, was taken by surprise when she encountered Emma. Carver fired several shots, but Emma avoided them by hiding in the woods and changing positions. When Carver tried to flee, Emma caught her off guard and shot her at a critical point, incapacitating her. Carver asked Emma to finish her off, but Emma, torn with regret, said she would love to watch her suffer, but needed to get back to her children. She left Carver behind and returned to the building to reunite with her small family. Driving everyone back, Emma had a normal conversation with her children. They asked her about their wounds and then asked for food. The film ends with Emma driving her family along a long road as she starts on a new chapter of her life.